Okay.
All right, we're rolling?
We're rolling.
All right.
Do it. Welcome to the Real Estate Addicts Podcast with your host, Dan Rubin, Arch Investment Group.
Marc Choose Boston, and we're joined today by our guest,
Jordan Hayashi of Bizzen.
Awesome, Jordan.
Ray isn't here today. He's kid vacation week, so
Yeah.
just
not sick?
No, but I don't think he wanted to. He didn't want to bring them, and I don't know. He didn't want to. He didn't want to deal with that.
They probably would have been a better guest.
Yeah.
They may have. I don't know.
It may have been a really interesting conversation.
It could have been cool. We could have brought him on.
Yeah. Regardless, we are psyched to have you here. So tell us a little bit about sort of your background, Jordan, and how you came to visit.
Cool. Bizzen. Yeah. Business Zen. The idea is that small businesses already have enough on their plates, and we want to let these business owners focus on what's important, which is their craft and their customers. So my story was I grew up on a farm in California surrounded by these types of people, small business owners, and then came out to the East Coast and realized there aren't as many small businesses here and there aren't as many communities here around those small businesses. So ended up dropping out of school to found a company to try to cultivate communities around small businesses. Ended up getting recruited into an AI lab, ended up running engineering and product there in what ended up being the most successful AI company in history. So we got acquired by S&P Global in 2018 in order to basically run AI for them.
Wow.
After that, bought my first house, did a bunch of renovations, and realized what the heck, like we spend our days working to get data quality from 99.99% accuracy to 99.999. And then we go home and neither the GC nor I know who owes whom like $100,000 and realize that technology needs to help. And so ended up founding a company to facilitate payments between homeowners and contractors and try to find savings opportunities for homeowners. And then realized that when AI started becoming mainstream, finally I get to build the company that I've been wanting to build for the last 30 years, which is helping business owners focus on what's important. And so that was Bizzen. And so we've been at it for about a year and a half now, based in Cambridge, 7-person team, and have just come to market recently and are trying to keep up with the demand.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's cool. How did your parents feel about you dropping out of college?
They basically said, we'll help support you if you're at school. If not, you're on your own. So I spent a year sleeping on couches, and then effectively started a second company in order to fund the tech startup.
Damn.
Wow. That's very cool.
Well, so like AI has been it's everywhere right now, but I think that it's funny because like going back a year, maybe a year and a half, I feel like it was like people sending like, look, I took my email and I made it sound like Shakespeare wrote it or a pirate did, and it's like funny, and like all of a sudden it's like it's everywhere.
I mean, we've done multiple episodes about it in the last 30 days. So
I just saw this massive education company that went bankrupt now on account of AI. Chegg, CHEGG.
Check. Yeah.
Yeah. They like basically ChatGPT was like, we're going to help you with your homework. And that was like the whole.
is it
Check.
CHEGG, right?
Yeah.
Chegg. Yeah. I actually used it in college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way back in the day.
Guys, I think their stock's worth $1 right now.
Yeah.
But
The first casualty to AI, I guess.
that's it.
The big one, I guess.
Yeah,
I think
first
there's
big
going to
one.
be a lot more, but
So you've been at it for, I think you've known this word for a lot longer than Dan and I have, and you've been in this space. So like, how is that like evolution look to you?
Yeah, it was funny because 10 years ago, I kind of scoffed at our usage of the term AI, thinking this isn't artificial intelligence. This is just predictive models. And turns out once you scale those models to large size, then it basically is artificial intelligence. And so, yeah, that's where we are now. I think, like you said, it's been fascinating over the last 2 years to watch it go from a bunch of toy projects and fun projects to people starting to realize, wait, this actually has some business utility. And so as we've talked to customers over the last couple of years, people went from afraid of AI. We had someone saying, I worry about my luxury home building company because the chuck in a truck is going to be able to compete with me. I think since then, their fears have been assuaged. So he doesn't have anything to worry about. But about 18 months ago, that same person was thinking, okay, I understand it now. I'm pretty curious. I want to learn more. A year ago, it turned into people looking for ways to integrate it into business. I would say now people are less averse than they used to be and are starting to flip into curiosity and looking for ways to have it drive business. I don't think we're at the point where there's widespread adoption, but I think in the next year, people are going to start to flip into, if I'm not using AI, I'm falling behind. And so I'm pretty excited for the next year of adoption to see how people can actually start focusing on the important problems in their business. Because no one wants to sit in front of a desk, type numbers into 5 different spreadsheets. People want to get out and build and meet new customers, build relationships, which is really where the human aspect of this industry is.
Yeah, I think the adoption is going to actually come quicker for small business owners versus like the large corporate folks. You know, my wife works for a large financial services company. Yeah. And, those types of businesses are much slower to adopt and much slower to approve and roll those things out to the masses. I think though that small business owners are going to be able to keep up and really, really set themselves apart if they continue to adopt. But I also do think that it's becoming overwhelming though. It's to the point where there's so many types of AI tools now, and I go onto social media and I'll be inundated with ads of you leveraging AI to do this and leveraging AI to do that and use this tool and that tool and that. Like it, I think there could be a little bit of it's going to become overdone, and I think that people need to pick and choose wisely because you can become overwhelmed and it's almost like, you don't want to become stagnant and pick, 5 or 6 different tools and then try to tinker with all of them. You want to pick 1 or 2 and kind of dive in. I don't know if you agree with that or not.
Yeah, I think
AI Bizzen is one of them.
Yeah, as long as we're one of them. No, I think AI has become a massive multiplier, which is great if you pick the right tools because then it multiplies your ability to propel your business. Unfortunately, it also propels a bunch of spammy companies in order to, send 10,000 emails a day. And so I get a dozen emails a day saying, you're an HVAC owner, I'm going to help you with phone answering. And so if I, as a non-HVAC owner, am receiving this email, then odds are every single HVAC company in the world is also receiving that same email, and maybe 10 of them a day. And so it's becoming really hard to figure out what is the right tool for me to adopt. What is the actual signal in all this noise? And so we as a company are also trying to figure out how do we cut through the noise as what I would obviously consider a pretty legit company, when now there's a dozen different companies in every city across America, which is, one person typing one prompt into ChatGPT or into one of these other platforms and calling themselves an AI company, which I think is great. Like my mission for this company is to enable every entrepreneur to actually reach their potential as a business owner. But that also means as business owners, we're constantly being sold to. And so it's going to be tricky both for companies on the receiving end of all these sales and also the companies trying to get the attention of these business owners in order to differentiate ourselves as a company that does have top talent, that does have high product velocity, and that does have a trajectory to become an actual operating system for work.
Well, it's all about choosing the product that is right for your business.
Well, I like how you put it, Jordan. You did a great demonstration of Bizzen at the union, and you sort of said that, like, think of large language models as vehicles, and you wouldn't drive the same vehicle on the Autobahn as you would to pick up groceries, as you would to go get construction materials.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an analogy that I think lands quite well, is this idea of even at the large language model layer, there's a few dozen of these. And to a certain extent, they're commoditized in that for the average person, choosing any model will probably help them get their job done. But as you start to get to more and more advanced workflows, then the incremental intelligence from each of the more expensive or more powerful models does start to differentiate. And so the analogy I like to use is LLMs are just like vehicles where if I wanted to get down the hall to Nick Schiffer's office, I wouldn't drive. It's 10 steps, so I would probably walk. But if I wanted to get back to the Bizzen office in Cambridge, I would probably drive, but not fly. But if I wanted to get to California, I'd probably hop on a plane. And so there are trade-offs in terms of cost, speed, reliability of all of these models. And it's becoming tricky for everyone to keep track of which models excel in which ways, which ones are more expensive. And so
Exactly.
We are trying to cut through the noise and basically just build a platform where if you ask us a question, we'll find the right model for you. We'll inject the right context. That way you just get the result that you want without having to know how the various ingredients that go into it.
I'll give you guys a real compliment because I've been sort of challenged by the same things, and I've been playing now with Bizzen since we met at the union for a couple weeks ago. And like my pet peeve is people just creating AI tools for the sake of building a tool. And it's like it's not really like your life easier. And now my agents have to do all of these different things, whereas like a pen and paper might have been a more suitable thing for this very simple thing. But my point being is like I think Bizzen is really like going after problems that are real, like just time consuming, sucks on my to-do list that I don't want to do, might be categorizing costs, for different projects or otherwise like communicating different punch lists in a way that's efficient. And in our space, it's really tough to use narrative for everything. So you guys do a great job. And maybe that's a good highlight for you to talk about like how you use videos to create actionable scope and break that down into place.
Well, can you use, so for my, cause I wasn't there, right, at the union. So from my educational purposes and the listeners' purposes, maybe just talk, because I want to be very transparent with you. I went to your website and looked around, and it's it's very high level, right? I had a hard time really understanding exactly what Bizzen does, so maybe you can kind of help.
Yeah, so that's on us, not on you. I think we're moving with such velocity. It's hard to keep our website up to date, and as a consequence of creating a new category, it's also hard to use analogies to explain what we do. So at our core, what we're trying to do is allow business owners as well as employees to focus on what is the most high impact work in front of them, which isn't typing numbers into spreadsheets, isn't taking notes, isn't sending emails back and forth with the back office. It is meeting with the next customer, building the relationship, showing them you're the right business to take on this job. And so we've tried to automate most of the tedious work from the second you meet a customer all the way through to closing the books on that customer. And so we have a pretty wide suite of products. We have phone answering, where we'll answer your phone or your text messages and do a full project intake. Like what work is this homeowner looking to do? Where do they live? What's their budget? What's their timeline? And then we can start doing background research on when did they buy their house? Are they actually on the deed? Pretty soon, we're going to start looking into things like, have they ever sued a contractor?
I love that.
Have they ever
left a bad Google review repeatedly?
Yeah. Do they have a lien on any of their houses because they didn't pay a contractor?
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of data out there in the open web, things that you as business owners can go look up. It's just tedious and time consuming. And so that's kind of a specific example of where we can cut time out of the workflow. The product that is taking off right now is our ability to effectively ingest everything that happens live on a job site and bring that to an AI model to generate anything. And so I think we are the only company in the world where we can help you take an unlimited length video as you're on site and then compress that into the context window of an LLM model and help you generate anything, which is fancy words for the ability to fill out documents if you're on site, generate reports from what happened on site, generate an estimate based on the scope of work that we know was discussed on site. Even things like you walk off a 1 hour walkthrough and say, hey, I need to send an email to the plumber for all of the punch list items related to plumbing. Can you generate that for me? And then we'll generate the whole thing, including a link to the video where you start talking about plumbing related items. And so what we were surprised by is how many new workflows our customers came to us with, because originally we thought we were going to give you this guided workflow. You just take a video and then you click here to generate a scope of work and an estimate, or you click here to generate a report with photos and notes. But our customers were the first ones to let us know, hey, can you help us generate insurance documents or fill out this form for us? Can you help us generate a punch list? Can you help us generate X, Y, and Z? And so what we're realizing now is we don't need to be prescriptive about use case. We just need to build this workflow where we hand you ChatGPT trained on exactly what happened on site, and then you can do whatever you want with it.
So I'll give you a real example. Like, a lot of people use punch lists, and that's pretty easy to comprehend. But before you ever get to a punch list, there's like 150 work lists. Work lists is just like it's not done yet. Like, don't put blue tape on the wall. I'm quite aware the door isn't there, but I have to communicate to somebody at the lumber yard that we're missing that door. So I'll take my camera out and I'll walk through the threshold of the unit entry, and I'll just say, like, unit 8. I can even show it unit 8, and then continue to the kitchen and be like, cabinet and door, or shelves missing, lower left island. It's going to snap a picture of that cabinet door once I've opened and just show that it's missing the shelf. I might open the sink up and see that like the plumbing trap isn't connected, the disposal isn't in there yet. And it's just going to continually itemize all these things. And you're just sort of chatting like, this is for the plumber. This my electrician needs to get on this. It's urgent. And like, it is amazing how when you hit like, man, it really does summarize all that and give it to you in a way that you can send it out downstream.
That's very cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's there forever. So at the end of the job, if you want to drill into a wall here and you don't know what's behind it, you can just ask us, hey, can you bring up the photos of number 8 Main Street? I'm in the kitchen now. Show me what's behind these walls. And as long as you took that video when the walls were open, we'll be able to surface that photo. That way, you don't hit the vent line.
I think your product has a ton of cool stuff. That one example, I would challenge you on that. Like, we have other products for that, like 360 cameras. Like, if you're not doing construction documentation with like construction site, that's like all it does, including a drone going around your video, you're building in the same path. And then, so maybe one day I think it'll get there and be helpful. And if you don't do any of that stuff, then awesome to have that forever.
I think where it would be helpful is a one-stop shop to have that in there.
It wouldn't take much.
No. And then you don't have to go to like all of these different.
It's all tagged to floor plan. So like the idea is like, I put a 360 camera on my hard hat. I tag the drawing where I start and where I stop. And all throughout it's just taking pictures. And then at the end I can filter and sort by date and pull up the different walks. And
you could like take notes, on it and things like that. And then they have drone deploy too, which is basically a similar thing, but with the drone for the exterior. Mm-hmm. And then it can actually take, if you have a larger site, you can take like, it can map the lot. And then if there's like piles of materials, it can estimate the amount of materials and how much material is around the site and things like that. And it can map like your entire facade. And, if you're like, we used it to try to, come up with a punch list for, if they missed any, waterproofing material on the side and things like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think for us, there are certain things where we're the only place where you can do something, like take a mid-length video. Then there's other aspects of our platform where they exist other places, like our ability to track leads and intake leads. We're not the only company to build that. At the same time, that one-stop shop, I think, is part of the appeal, where we are that app that you open when you're on site. Yes, data exists other places, but if you can just speak into your phone and say, I'm standing in front of the kitchen vanity, what's behind it? Mm-hmm. And we surface that answer in a couple seconds, then just because it exists, just because other places might have more details there, doesn't mean it's faster for you to find it.
It's the same reason why I open up my like home folder on my phone and I have 15 different apps, smart home apps as it relates to my house. I don't want it does because I don't want 15 apps. I want
150 episodes.
It's true. I want 1 or 2 apps that I can go to that will do everything. I don't want to have to open multiple apps.
Yes. No, I feel your pain there. I have Hue lights, I have smart shades, and what helped me was integrating them all into, I'm not going to say the keywords, a bunch of the listeners.
But not everything is compatible. right?
Right.
Most of it now.
Not really. Well, you have
this is a
it's a digression, but not everything is integrated.
But I'm going to bring it back home by saying, like, I just say, hey, Smartbox, close the shades. Hey, Smartbox, turn off the lights.
Yeah.
And I don't care that that's talking to 3 different apps. I just have one place to talk to. And that's what we're trying to build, is this ability where you just say,
there you go.
hey, Bizzen,
Ties
do X, Y,
everything
or Z,
together.
and we'll just surface it for you. Yeah, so the idea is we want to be that one-stop shop. We'll do a lot of different things, and there's a few things where we're the only company in the world to do, but that doesn't mean we cover all of the workflows. And so we're scrambling to try to keep up with all these feature requests that we get for, hey, can you help us with this extension? Can you help us with this extension? And so
how do you pick and choose which features to integrate and which ones not to integrate?
Yeah,
that could overwhelm you too.
Yeah, I think we want to stay balanced between keeping up with everything that helps in the day-to-day, but also keeping an eye to the future of, there's this idealized workflow that we want to build. But at the same time, a lot of companies already have their workflow. And for most companies, it may not be worth actually pursuing the idealized workflow because the team's already trained, you already have processes in place, you already have data in certain places. And so it might be more detrimental to the company and to the employees to learn a new workflow, even if it is the idealized workflow, than to just make certain tweaks on the existing workflow. And so we're trying to hit the balance of how do we extend our platform in ways that make it compatible with majority of companies out there who created their processes before AI, but also ways where we can actually pull people towards a more idealized workflow. And so it's a tricky balance. The team is pushing hard to do everything, but of course, we're constrained by the amount of hours we have every single day. And so it's not an easy problem, but we try to keep an eye on the future of what is going to get people to use us every single day? What is going to get people to start to migrate workflows to us? And we will prioritize anything that facilitates that.
Yeah. I think it's cool how many different users, like real estate there's so many people around the table. Like to me, a real estate agent doing a blue tape punch list could use the product. A home inspector who just cranks out home inspections. A bank inspector coming in to check progress of the job could walk around and produce a really nice report for their lending institution. Architect or structural engineer who's doing construction administration and has to periodically make site visits could walk around with the Bizzen app and just say like, missing hold down on column line F1 and G, probably didn't know that you're standing there. I use the general contractor version where it's kind of like hearing some of the information to all the different subs. But once you get down to the subs, they need to distribute it to their guys too. So if you're the foreman for the plumbing company, and you've got 15 guys on site, I think there's great application. Or if you're the project manager and someone calls you and says it's missing and disposing all those units, you might say, yeah, that's not my contract. That's an extra. And now I'm going to make a little video and it's going to also then pull out the scope line by line and give you the ability to quickly price each, detailed part of that budget.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. You guys are trying to put a number next to the respective scope line item, or you're still leaving it blank for the plumber or the general contractor to...
It depends. The nice thing about AI is it's so flexible.
Mm-hmm.
And so some customers are using us and we're building models to try to predict pricing based on their existing pricing. Other people are using us like a ChatGPT where they're trying to pull pricing out of the model. So they have ballpark pricing. And the nice thing about AI is it's flexible. We can support both of those workflows.
Are you focusing mainly on the construction industry or are you focusing on multiple industries? Because I could see this being used by not just construction professionals.
Just telling me all the things that I've done around the house.
Just take a video of the honey-do list.
I
mean, I want to use Bizzen to run my own to-do list because there's so many things both at home and at work I need to focus on. So we want to stay relatively focused on construction. We've had companies outside of construction ask if they can use us. And my standard response is, we can probably help you, but we'll choose not to because we don't want to let you down. If you start migrating more and more to us and start relying on us as your operating system, but we're not going to extend our features towards your industry, it's just going to be a letdown. And so we want to stay pretty focused on construction and the home services for now.
Nice.
Can I see a tough question?
Of course. That's why I'm here.
I'm going to start by saying that I put a product called Brilliant in every single dimmer in my house. Super cool product, LED screen. It was affordable and it worked. And it was a very new company. And fast forward to like 2 years ago, they put a note on the website like, company is gone. Hopefully,
Are they gone?
well, someone bought them back, so it's good. It's still a supported product right now. But like as I look at doing $1.5 million home and what I want to use for a smart system that's going to be there forever for a long time, I might lean towards Lutron, or fill in the blank. So how do you answer that when it comes to, like, you guys are a younger company, and as people are building their workflows around you, it's a meaningful investment in Bizzen. So is that something that you get asked a lot?
It's not something we get asked a lot, but the whole thing that we're trying to do is help your business, and it's a two-way street. You help us with feedback. You, of course, pay a subscription fee, and the idea is we need to win your business every single month. And the reason why we're month to month is because we want to challenge ourselves to step up and actually provide enough value that you keep coming back. And if we don't do that, then you shouldn't pay for us. And honestly, we shouldn't exist, because what value do we actually provide? And so we haven't had a customer leave yet because we're actually providing enough value for them to come back every single month. And as we do that, and as we start to build up our revenue, then we as a company start to become more durable and to survive longer. And so the idea is, if we challenge ourselves to win your business every single month, then by definition, we're providing value greater than our subscription fee. And if we can do that for you, then we can probably do that for a few other companies too. And so it's a belief in both directions, that you believe in our mission and our ability to keep building more value to you so that the value that we provide increases over time. And at the same time, you help contribute to the durability of our company, because if we can give you value, then we're also starting to bolster our durability as a company. And so if you see value in us, then probably we're providing enough value to survive over time.
Yeah.
But if not, then you should distance yourself from us, because we're going to fail, right? And so,
yeah.
Also, there isn't a Lutron or a Kleenex, or like you're kind of the first in the space, or one of the onlys. I don't think right now, fill in the blank, gigantic construction company, AutoCAD, they're not doing what you're doing. So
is it a similar subscription model to the other big guys where, you have usage limits? No. I'm saying
that's how they did.
What do you mean?
Oh, like you pay for Procore and they will like a percent of your sale.
Yeah, no, I'm saying the other big AI companies, not the other big, is it a similar, credits or usage limits and all that stuff?
We've thought about this a lot. Right now we try to keep things simple. Like our platform is already wide and complicated, and we don't want to throw another thing to think about in front of our users. And so we're a flat subscription fee. You pay per month. It's predictable. It's month by month. So if we're not providing value, you're not locked in for the next year. We need to provide value so that you stay. We've thought about different ways to align incentives. Like, can we help ourselves grow as you grow? But my opinion is the industry isn't ready for it yet. We want to make sure that we remain predictable. We want to remove the variables that you need to think about in choosing the next software. Eventually, we might roll out pricing where we have a cheaper subscription and pay for usage. But the difficulty there is we don't want to dissuade you from using us. If every single time you want to voice generate an estimate, you have to think, is this worth, $1 or $2? Then people might say no sometimes and not use it. And so we would rather give you unlimited use, give you a taste of what it means to accelerate your business using AI. And then maybe at some point find ways that we can grow with you. But the mission is that it never becomes us versus you. It's always how do we work together to help grow your business? And of course, we're going to devote more time to our bigger customers and therefore justify larger fees, but we always want to make it a no-brainer.
Nice. Can I ask you another kind of difficult question?
Sure.
So what's stopping someone from like using Claude Code or some other AI platform to generate similar type tools
Nothing
to use in their business?
In fact, if you want to do that, come to me and I'll show you how to do it. Literally at the union, my talk was, here's 5 things that you can do to accelerate your business. They're all features of Bizzen, but what I did is I showed you how you can use free tools or pay per token tools to rebuild our feature stack. The downside is, then your leads live in 3 different places, not 2. Rather, you want to go from 2 to 1, not 2 to 3. But nothing. The great thing about AI is that it starts to allow everyone to build exactly what they want. In the same way that restaurants allow everyone to go get whatever type of food they want. Of course, everyone can go cook at home, but for a lot of people, it's just not worth your time to do that. And same thing, we'll put out the cookbook, show you how to do it yourself. But for a lot of people, your time is worth more than the dollars that you'll save building it yourself. Because it's not just building it, it's also maintaining it. And when things break, especially when you're in the field with the customer, like, do the $10 that you saved, is it worth losing that customer over the $10 that you saved?
So,
no, I agree.
I love that restaurant analogy. I realize we're sort of coming up on time, but I did want to grab one more large topic. Something you talk about a lot too, which is sort of like the AI apocalypse, if that's coming, or if this is going to be a, like
the AI apocalypse in terms of job loss, or the AI apocalypse in terms of like the .com bubble?
No. Well, that's the question. There is an argument too, but I was thinking more job loss and like societal unrest and unravel, and should we just go out and get guns? It's like, is this COVID?
Like Terminator style?
Yeah. So I kind of gave that question at the union, and I thought your answer about, being able to have more time to do the things that we want to do was really interesting. So I'll pitch that to you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough question. And I think there is going to be job loss, but at the same time, there's going to be great creation of jobs in the same way that, there used to be a switchboard position where people would literally, if you want to connect person A to person B, you plug in line A to line B. And, when telephone networks got created, then those jobs were completely eliminated. But at the same time, lots of other jobs are created to run the infrastructure that was created from it. In the same way, calculators were created, and I don't think anyone would hire an accountant now who refuses to use a calculator. In fact, I don't think anyone should hire an accountant who refuses to use a spreadsheet, because, it's just, you're spending more time and encountering more mistakes. And AI is going to be the same way. It's going to eliminate a lot of that tedious work. And for roles where it was 100% tedious work, those might disappear. But at the same time, there's so much more value getting created, and there's so much more need for help across the workforce that new jobs are going to get created as well. What I'm super excited about is this idea of outsourced intelligence now allows us to use our intelligence in ways that we've wanted to. And for some people, that means spending more time growing your business and becoming more successful. For other people, that means spending more time doing hobbies, playing video games, building custom furniture. And so people are going to get to use their intelligence in ways that they care about. For some people, that's working even harder. For some people, that's not working at all. And so people talk about the WALL-E movie as, I never want to be the large person in the chair just watching TV. And I agree, I don't want to be that person. But for some people, that's the life they want to live. And who am I to get in the way of that? And so what's exciting about AI is it's high leverage, value's getting created. And so that means humans are going to get to spend more time being humans. For some people, that's working harder. For some people, that's working less. And I think everyone's going to get to do a little bit more about what they want to do, which is, I think, a great thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you need money to live.
Yeah, but it's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur or a founder.
No, I agree with you there.
The demo and disposal business that we're launching right now, it's been 2 weeks. I haven't slept a lot, but my God, have we accomplished a lot,
Yeah. Yeah, you see it.
Logo, app, pricing. We bought a truck. We compared prices of the truck. We felt confident in what we were buying. We did all the marketing wraps. I have swag on its way. I designed ads. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can try a lot of new things.
Yeah,
with not a lot.
Mm-hmm. And you can tell if it's not the path for you, which is great. You can tell, I don't actually like this work, and I only have invested 10 hours rather than 100 hours.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of experimentation going on.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. Hey, Jordan, thank you so much. If folks want to check out Bizzen, follow your guys' adventure there, what's the best way for them to follow you?
You can find us on the internet, bizzen.com, bizzen.com, or you can email me, jordan@bizzen.com.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone listening, rating, reviewing, subscribing, and watching. Catch you on the next one.
Cheers.
Cheers.